Hello everyone, welcome to today's lecture. So in today's lecture, we'll be starting off with the new topic that is the instance-based learning. Right? Let me share the screen. Okay, I think the screen is visible. So yeah, okay. So just a minute. Yeah, I think the screen should be visible now. So let me open the slide. Yeah. So in this lecture, we'll be starting off with a new topic that is the instance-based learning. Right. So in the previous lectures, we have seen how do we evaluate the hypothesis, right? Using different techniques. We saw the basics of Bayesian, the sampling theory, right? The basics of sampling theory, involving some terms and definitions of statistics, and also general approach, right? We saw the general approach for the derivation of the confidence intervals. Right. So moving further, we'll be today discussing about the instance-based learning. Right. So in this instance-based learning, we'll be discussing the important topics like first of all, why instance-based learning? What is the underlying aspect of instance-based learning? A brief introduction about it. Right. And two very important, you can say, methods and the algorithms which deals with the instance-based learning. That is the k nearest neighbor learning, right? And the basics of sampling theory, this which we have already covered. So locally weighted regression is what we are going to discuss here. So basics of sampling theory is already we have covered. The k nearest neighbor learning and the locally weighted regression will be our main area of focus here. Right, and further as and when we proceed, we'll be discussing the other topics that is the radial basis function and the case based learning. So let us have a brief understanding of what is this instance-based learning, what is the introduction to this instance-based learning. Right, so many methods there are different methods that we have seen so far, right? But to be specific with respect to these methods, that is nearest neighbor and the locally weighted regression, this will be our main area of focus, right? So learning in these two methods, right? Learning in these algorithms like nearest neighbor and the locally weighted regression, it consists of simply storing the presented training data, right? So whatever the learning that will be happening, right? Let's say we take an example, we take a training set, and you train that, you use that training set to train a particular model. So what will be the outcome? The ultimate outcome will be stored to present for the training data, right? Storing the presented training data. So whenever the new query or a new example that we take, a new instance when we encounter a set of similar related instances, right? Related as in related to the new instance, right? So the set of similar related instance is retrieved from that stored data, right? Which is our memory. So it is retrieved from our memory and it is used to classify that new instance what we have encountered. So that's how this basically these two learning algorithm, that is nearest neighbor and the locally weighted regression, works. So moving further, we'll be discussing about the k nearest neighbor algorithm as well as one of the another important algorithm that is locally weighted regression. Right. So what is the key difference here? Right, when we compare with the other methods that we have seen so far in the previous modules. So the key difference here is that when we compare to other methods, is that the this particular instance-based learning, right, the instance-based approach, can construct a different approximation to the target function, right? Different approximation to the target function, unlike the other examples that we have seen, unlike the other methods that we have seen. It The other methods, they were either creating a local approximation, right, or maybe a global approximation. But here, in this instance-based approach, the difference is that it can construct a different approximation to the target function, right? And that too for each distinct query instance, right? For each distinct query instance is to be classified. So that is the difference here when we compare instance-based learning with the other methods that we have covered so far. Now, what is the advantage or what is the disadvantage of this approach, right? So advantage of this approach is the instance-based learning, that it, as I said, it constructs an approximation which is a different one, right? It constructs a different approximation that itself is an advantage. How is that it is an advantage? Because it constructs an approximation which is designed to perform well over the entire instance space, right? It is well designed to perform over the entire set of instance space that we have, not specific to any particular instance. It is designed to perform well on the entire instance space. So that is the advantage that we get for the instance based learning. Now it has the disadvantages also, right? The disadvantage of the instance based learning is that it approaches it is that the cost of the classification is very high, right? Why this cost of classifying these new instances is very high? Because, as the name suggests, it is instance based, right? So the number of instances that we have, the number of classification that we need to carry, right? So the total cost of classifying those new instances, increases. So that's why it acts as one of the disadvantage of the instance-based learning, that the cost for this classification of the new encountered instances is a little bit high, right, compared to the other methods that we have seen so far. So with this basic understanding, let us take the first algorithm, that is the nearest neighbor, and discuss what is this k nearest neighbor learning algorithm, right, which is also a part of a lab experiment, right? So let me show you. Yeah, so this is our lab experiment. uh, Program number 9, as you can see, write a program to implement the k nearest neighbor, right? So this is very important from the lab examination point of view as well. So let us understand what is this k nearest neighbor, right? So as the you might have got some information, some assumptions with the considering the name of the algorithm itself, right? K nearest neighbor, right? So it tells a lot of things. So K is basically, it is the it is the number, you can say, and nearest neighbor is the nearest, the number of nearest neighbors that we have of the instances, right? So let us understand these things with an example. Let's say the important point here is that the key principle here is that the points which is denoted here in this plot, right, which are nothing but, let's say, a document, that are close in the space belong to the same class. It's quite obvious, right? So the closer they are, we can say that they belong to the same class. As you can see, there are a lot of A's in this first quadrant, second quadrant again, a lot of A's. Third quadrant, you can see only B's, and fourth quadrant, as you can see, there's mixture. You can say that is mixture of A and B. So there are different points. There are different plots that you can see. Now, what do we mean by this nearest neighbor? Like I said, there are few assumptions you can make considering the name itself, nearest neighbor. Right. So let's say we have this set of data, right? Let's consider the first box, right? And we have set of data. Some data is represented by dash here, and some data is represented by plus symbol here, right? Dash is in blue, and the plus symbol is red. So let's say these are the two different types of instances that we have in the complete data, right? And in order to uh, classify these, let's say when we have the a particular region marked, right? So the centroid of the region is represented here by x, and that region is this dotted circle, right? So this region, we have to check whether how many instances are lying near to this region. Let's say this region is our target function, right? So we have to classify how many instances are lying near to our target function here. So as you can see in the first plot, right, in the first diagram A, only one instance is getting classified inside this region, right? So we can say that one instance is close. Only one instance is close to the nearest neighbor, right? That is, you can say this plus symbol, which is only one nearest neighbor. Let's say, let's consider the second diagram. As you can see, the region is quite increased a bit, and you can see there are two plots. There are two symbols here, two plus symbols which are nearest to our target function now, right? And similarly, the third diagram, which can you can consider that this particular symbol is near to the region, right? So which is, you can say that uh, three nearest neighbor, right? So how do we compute this distance, right? How can we say that this is near, or which one is near, which one is far? So for that, we have already seen the various types of distance computing formulas, right? If you can recall from the previous experiments, we saw Minkowski's distance formula, Euclid's distance formula, then Manhattan's distance formula, and so this is just a compilation of all the formulas here, one diagram, so that it is easier for you to remember, right? So you can go through this. I'll make you this PDF file available to you so that you can understand, go through this and understand. Right. So let us understand this k nearest neighbor with an example. Right. Let's consider one example of the credit concerning the credit default. Right. So considering whether a person with a particular age and so much of loan, whether it should be allowed to apply for the loan or no, right? What is the default value? What is the loan amount and so on. So let's consider the following data here concerning the credit default, wherein we have two variables, two numerical values, which are age and the loan. We have numbers in the form of age on the x-axis and loan, the amount of the loan, on the y-axis. So these are the two numerical variables that we have, which we are going to call it as predictors. Why predictors? Because we are going to use these numerical values to predict the target function, which is nothing but our whether this person has to be allowed uh, for the loan or no. Is the person is eligible for the loan or not, given the age and the loan amount applied. So that's why we call these values as predictors, these variables as predictors. And the default is our target function. So when you see here in the plot, these red dotted squares are nothing but our targets, right? These are our default targets, and the blue dotted are non-defaults. You can see, right? These are the values which are not our targets. So now let us we can now use this training set to classify the unknown cases. For example, let's say I have a situation where we have a person with age 48 and loan which is, let's say, around $1,42,000. Right, so this is the loan applied. So we are going to use these values, these numerical values, to compute the Euclidean distance. Right. For that, let's consider that the k value for computing the distance. We need to have the value of k here. So if, let's say, k is equal to 1, then the nearest neighbor is the last case in the training set with default as y. Right. So let me show you here in the diagram. That is, when you compute the Euclidean distance formula and when you compute the value, right, with k is equal to 1, you can get the value distance as 8000.01, so roughly around 8000. So, so what is the target for that? Default is y. So when I compute the table, right, and when I see the distance, that is 8000, right, for for the default value y, you can see that the default value is y. So for our instance, that is, the age is 48 and the loan is $1,42,000, right? So what is the default value is what we have to consider, right? So This is the given data that we have. We have already computed what is the distance for so much, a value for age and a value for load. So depending on these predictors, we have already predicted the default target, that is either yes or no, right? So let's say when we give with k value as 3, there are two default as y and one default with n, that is no. So out of these three closest neighbors. So we can say that the prediction for the unknown case is again default as y, because we have two default as y and one default as no. So the probability is quite clear that default is more, default as yes is more than default as no. So we can conclude that the prediction for such case, that is with age 48 and the loan being $1,42,000, we can predict that the default target function is yes. So the person, we can say that is eligible to apply for that amount of loan. Right. So with this basic understanding, let us see what do we have as our lab experiment here. Right. So here in the lab experiment number 9, we are supposed to write a program to implement the k nearest neighbor algorithm to classify the iris dataset. Now iris dataset, you must be aware with the dataset, right? Iris is the form of a flower, right? It's a form of a flower. So we need to use the dataset with respect to this iris flower and perform the k nearest neighbor algorithm to classify, right? So what we are going to do, what we have to do is that we have to print both the correct as well as the wrong prediction as well, right? So we have to print the correct as well as wrong prediction, and we'll be doing this using the Java or Python ML library classes. You can do using Java or Python. I'm going to use here Python library classes, right? So let us have a quick, understanding. Now with this background, you can free to use any platform for that. If you want to use Google Colab, you can use Google Colab, Jupyter Notebook, whatever. I have been repeating these things. So you are free to use whatever platform that you wish to, but make sure that you use Java or Python ML libraries, right? And you should apply the algorithm, k-nearest algorithm, on the iris dataset itself, right? So they have specified that we need to classify for the iris dataset only. So let me show you uh, like one example, one way to do it. You can use your own methods, but just to show you how it can be done, let me show you like what are the different steps, important steps here, right? So I'm going to install all the required packages here, right? I'm going to import the Iris dataset, the k nearest neighbor classifier, all the other libraries that I'm going to use here, and the training test set to split the dataset into training and testing, right? So once I have this this initialization, I'm going to just print the data, right? Whatever the data that I have, and I'm going to set up the target, the training, the test data, right? And then I'm going to use an array, right? I'm going to set up an array and then predict the new instances using the predict kn dot predict method, right? So once we have the prediction, I'm going to output the predicted target value as well as the predicted feature value, right? Okay, so let me give an example here. Let's say if I print the new instances XA, so I'm going to set up a loop to print the actual instances and the predicted instances, right? So once I have that, I'll be having my total test score, that is nothing but our accuracy. So I'll be printing that accuracy as well. So let us go further. Let us see the output so that the whatever we are discussing here is much more clear to you. Right. So let's say this is the output that I have got. That might be different in your case. The accuracy might be varying, but let's say my actual data is that when I have two Virginica is one type of iris, one version of the iris data set, you can say, right? So we have Virginica, we have Versicolor, and we have Setosa. So they are the three different categories. So do we have we successfully classified it or not is what we are going to see here, right? So let's say my actual data is that I have two Virginicas, right? So the predicted is that yes, two Virginica type iris flower. Another actual data is one versicolor, so predicted is one again. So again, it's a correct classification, right? So actual data again zero Setosa. Setosa is again the third type of iris data set, you can say iris flower. So I have zero Setosa, and predicted is also zero. So again, it's a correct classification. Fourth one again two Virginica, predicted is again two Virginica, so it is again a correct classification. Actual data again zero Setosa, predicted is again zero Setosa. So this is again a correct classification. So we can say this is a long correct classification. Now let us see one more data, that is, let's say uh, incorrect classifications that we had. That is actual. I have one versicolor type of iris flower, but the predicted is that two versica, two virginica. So it is, you can clearly see, is wrongly classified. So this is the incorrect classification. This one is the incorrect classification, and the above five, these are the correctly classified. So we can say the test score accuracy is around 0.97, which is roughly 97% accuracy. Right. So this is just an example, but it depends on how you train it, how much data that you use for testing, and how much you actually use it for training and all. So depending upon that, your accuracy might be different. So uh, accuracy, what accuracy value that you get is not much of concern, but make sure that you make use the iris dataset and classify so that you get the actual, that is the correct classification, as well as the incorrect classification also, as the it is suggested in the experiment, that is to classify the iris dataset and print both the correct as well as wrong predictions as well. So you can print the wrong, the correct as well as the wrong classifications also. Right. So this is all about the experiment. That is the experiment number 8, the nearest neighbor. Right. So I hope the instance-based learning concept is now clear. Right. So we will take one more example, maybe in the next class. We will take the next example, that is locally weighted regression. Right. So that is another approach, that another algorithm which deals with instance-based learning. Right. So with this, I'll conclude the lecture, and we should meet in the next lecture discussing about the locally weighted regression. Right. Thank you.